I'm just writing my essay right now for today's Substack and comparing the 1918 outbreak to the current one. And in the 1918 H1N1, we call it Spanish flu here in America because we want to blame the Spaniards when in fact it probably originated in the Midwest in the U.S. and Midwestern pig farmers, but that's another story. That had 50 million deaths globally. We're at about 6 million currently with COVID, and that's probably an overcount because of the financial incentives to overcounting in the United States, certainly. And if you just the raw numbers, that's a massive difference. And about 2.5% of the world's population was lost during the quote Spanish flu or H1N1 1918 outbreak, which is kind of the gold standard for big kahuna global outbreaks. And here, when you run the numbers, it's something like 0.002% of the global population. I mean, this was all of this jabber about what a huge public health tragedy and any loss of life to infectious disease. I'm not in any way belittling the damage that was caused, but a lot of that damage was iatrogenic. A lot of it was avoidable. A lot of it was caused by medical mismanagement. As we mentioned earlier, it was caused by the lockdowns. What has happened here is a stunning example of the problems of a centralized management and decision-making tree. And we can nitpick at who was the puppet master, and you're a guy that has a background in finance, and you probably even, I imagine you might even personally know Ernst Wolf, but in Germany, who's been a major voice in advancing the theory that this, either through pre-planned or reactionary, was exploited for a variety of economic and political advantage globally. And we see the consequences of that in the massive financial shift, that occurred during these 3 years. But, I think we're all still having, even me, who's, as black-pilled as you can get at this point, just about. I'm not busy saying that Bill Gates is trying to depopulate the earth or Tedros, or I mean that's I won't go there. Many people do, but in terms of data-based blackpilling, conspiracy theory, I'm about as far out. I'm still amazed when I saw that video from Veritas, and I was given the embargoed video to react to, and then they captured my reaction almost in real time immediately after I had viewed it. I was stunned. I mean, I still think that I'm, I tell myself I'm not naive, as naive as I used to be, and I am still stunned by what I encounter and learn on almost a daily basis about what's transpired here.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I might have actually seen your reaction video, and the fact that you're stunned, I think, means that you're still able to be objective, and so that's a good thing. We had a bit of an experience, and I might as well just break it down because I think it might be relevant here, and then I'd like to just dive a little bit deeper into some of the points you're making in the book and some of the realizations. But just to give you a background, I started broadcasting kind of Joe Rogan style back in 2011. I was actually inspired by Joe to basically quit my job in finance and start podcasting when no one seemed to care.
That was bold.
Yeah. And so, I went and did that for 9 years, where I had about 1,000 people on my show, and I uploaded these videos to YouTube. And by the time we got to March 18th, 2020, I had almost 2 million subscribers and probably 500 million views on the platform. And it broadcasts, all sorts of different episodes. I'd actually been on Rogan's show back in 2012, and I'd had, you name it, on my show: activists, politicians, heavyweight boxers, all that stuff. And then on April 6th, 2020, we conducted the second largest YouTube live stream in the world that day. We had 65,000 concurrent people watching me here in this studio with another gentleman who was 70 years old have a conversation in this tone of voice, where he asked questions or made assertions that maybe the PCR test wasn't the best thing, asked questions about masks, talked about vaccinations. And it was so much in demand that if we extrapolated the numbers, the episode would have gone on to been watched 30 or 40 million times, and would have been watched more than probably the most watched podcast at the time, which was Elon Musk smoking weed on Rogan's show, which is about 20 million. And
supposed rumor has it that I think it was 1757, the one I hit, hit 100 million.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that's possible. Yeah, you came later, obviously. And so, so we were. It was quite a broadcast, and it was a time of real uncertainty. And we walked out of the studio, and then somebody came up to me in my office and said, the video's been deleted. And I was like, what are you talking about? This must be a mistake. Re-upload it. And then that was deleted, and we re-uploaded it again. It was deleted, and I thought, wow, this has never happened to me. I thought it was the weirdos that got censored. And I got a real dose.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. And so we started a head-to-head fight. The BBC came out with an article the next day saying that that basically they had pressured YouTube to take it down.
Really?
Yeah. I had been
to
yeah.
So that was a TNI hit. You might have common cause. You might want to ring up Bobby Kennedy at CHD and have a chat about that lawsuit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, he was on the show a couple months later. Yeah. It was so again, I had been down to YouTube headquarters. I had a partner manager, and actually I had to hear about that through an article on the BBC the next day, because where YouTube commented that they took it down because they didn't like what we were doing. And I called my YouTube person. I was like, I thought you would have maybe spoke to me before you spoke to the BBC about this. And apparently the same guest had been on my show about 3 weeks earlier asking questions, and they were poised and ready. And when we went live, they were watching, and then they just used us apparently as a reason to get us down. So we started going up against content strikes, and then YouTube threatened to delete basically 9 years of my life, 10,000 videos. And so I got a real dose of this. So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.